You're listening to MarceyLynn once again on WNHH Radio 103.5 FM, your home for community radio.
Hey, hey, hey. Happy Thursday, y'all. Happy Thursday, y'all. I'm here. Thank you, Harry, for the introduction. And I hope you all are well. Again, part 2, if you haven't known, Kiba rescheduled, but Hanan, we can continue with her story before she leaves us. So, hi, Hanan.
Hey, Marcy.
I'm glad. And she's actually here with us in the studio.
Hey.
No Zooming today. No Zooming. Absolutely wonderful. So, when last we spoke about so many beautiful things. Yeah. But I want to take this opportunity to get into the depth of your training, because I think sometimes people think you're just an African dancer or you don't do any other of the styles. But I know that you're versed in everything. Yes. So I want to start pretty much with your training as a ballerina at 2 because of your, So let's start there and then go into your training. And then I want to go into what's going on in New Haven, what you do for us. And I really, really, really want to know what's coming up for us so everybody can be ready for Juneteenth this year and Black History Month, because it's on, right, girl? It's on this year. It's just going to be a beautiful year. So go into we know she's a ballerina. We know she's a beautiful African dancer. We know she does we know she does all that. But what else have you been trained in?
So like I shared the last time, I started dancing when I was 2, and I started with ballet, tap, and jazz, and modern. All of this happened at the same time. When I was 2, I was introduced to all of these dance styles, right? All these techniques. And there was a sister who started a school in Harlem, the Creative Dance Theater, with Sister Latifa Abdul-Jabbar. So she had a school in the community. It was in the basement, in the community room. This was, what street was that? 130 something.
Okay.
Right?
It's not East or West, it's 130 something.
Right, it's 130 something, 130 something.
Yeah. Down in New York.
Yes, in New York, in
Harlem.
Harlem.
One of the one ways.
Yes, in Harlem, uptown. Uptown, baby.
Yeah,
right?
uptown.
So there is where, again, those are my origins of dancing. And outside of that, when we would go to the different events in the Pan-African community, there would be community classes, and that's where I started taking African when I was 5 with Baba Olatunji. And so that's where the African, as far as classes, was introduced.
Yeah.
And then when I was 7, like I shared, I started with Mama Taylor with African, but I also was doing ballet at Mind Builders.
Yes.
Right. So the whole time I never stopped doing ballet. I never stopped doing tap. Tap is actually one of my specialties.
Oh, wow.
And when I was 10, when I was in the Repertory Dance Company of East Harlem, it's a repertory company. So we did everything.
Oh,
right.
wow.
So that's when I was first introduced to Dunham technique when I was 10.
Okay.
Right. So we did ballet, tap, jazz.
I was going to say jazz,
modern,
contemporary, everything.
And when I say modern, because now people say contemporary, lyrical, we just called it modern.
Modern.
But it was, we were doing Limon, we were doing Horton, we were Graham. Like I'm trained in all of these.
It's amazing.
These techniques, and I teach all of these techniques. I also do acrobatics. I sing. I act. I write.
Yeah, you're
I
a
do
serial
hair.
artist. Like I'm a serial entrepreneur. Is the best thing about it. It's pretty much nothing. And I want to go back because the community part of it. It's just if we ever get back to that community, it was so different then. So the dance that came out of you, it reflected that.
Yes.
Community. So sometimes you'll get dancers that are just dancing for money now, and it's a big difference in people that are enjoying their art. And I know you're one of those people.
Yes.
So you know all of these different styles. Now you go back and forth for who? Who do you go back and forth? Like you come here to New Haven, you drop your seeds, you take care of what you have to take care of as far as your health is concerned, and then you're back, and then you're back, and then you're back. And you'll call, I'm here. I'm like, you're here. Okay. So, give me an idea what that's like going back and forth and what I mean, you literally have staples here in our city that still go on when you aren't here, which is a beautiful thing because you are always going to be part of New Haven. I know you know that. But the best part of it is that now you are a tremendous part of Senegal. So I want to know how that is transitioning back and forth and what we have coming up as far as our community is concerned. So everybody needs to know. We got 2 very important things coming up. Black History Month, February, even though it's the shortest month. Black History Month's every month, and I now call it Black American History Month because people forget, oh, why do they have to have a month? Guess why we have to have a month? Because our history is American. So now Black History Month is coming up, and then Juneteenth, our Independence Day.
Yes.
Most people don't understand why we say that's our Independence Day. So explain how we get that out into the neighborhoods. I know, but others probably might not,
Okay, so let me see how I could to address everything.
I know, right? That's what I said. So I go back and forth for several reasons. Mm-hmm.
So one part of going back and forth is just part of my upbringing, coming from a Pan-African household where traveling to the continent is just the norm. My grandmother repatriated decades ago, so she was all over the continent. She was actually one of the first people to go to Hajj, like from here.
Wow.
To travel to Mecca.
Yeah.
That was back in the 70s. She was one of the first to travel with Dr. Ben to Kemet. So it's like this was just part of what I know. So going to Africa was it's just something normal. It's not something like how people say, oh, it's a once in a lifetime experience. No, it's not. Because nobody says that about Europe.
No.
Nobody says about Australia.
Paris
And
or Rome.
Right. So why does Africa have to be a once in a lifetime when there's a nonstop flight from Delta that takes you right to Senegal in 6-7 hours? You go to sleep, you wake up, and you're on the continent.
Yeah,
so,
pretty much.
Right.
Yeah.
So
people don't realize that, and I think you just saying that is enough for people to understand. I have a few people that have decided that they're going to go to different parts this year, and people don't understand that there's so many different parts. So
54 countries.
It's like, do you realize that it's a whole part of the world? It's like United States and Canada and whatever else is connected, to us. Figure it's about 4 or 5 of those, because all the continents and then the countries that are in there, people don't even realize that about Egypt. So I always tell them all the time.
Africa.
I said, Egypt is North Africa. I said, oh, I'm going to Egypt. I'm not going. You're going to Africa. Okay?
Right.
So, just educating people on that part too.
Yes.
So I thank you for coming back and forth, because I miss your face when you're gone.
Aww,
like I always say, I miss your face.
So I travel back and forth. For me, again, that's normal. For me, right? It was nothing that was out of the ordinary. And so going back and forth is, I go back for myself, like Senegal. Like I went to Ghana again because that's where my grandmother ended up putting down some roots and acquiring land and building houses and so forth. So I would travel to visit her and help out with the property and everything. But when I went to Senegal, my spirit was just like, that's the first time I felt like a spiritual peace.
It worked.
I've never felt that before.
Woke something up, huh?
Because again, like I shared with you, I went to, if you include college, oh my gosh. I think I went to a good, maybe this might be the school I'm in now for my doctorate. Is this my 13th school? 13th, 14th school? I went to a lot of schools. All right.
Listen, I understand. I've been there. I don't want to go through my
for
list.
cultural reasons, for academic reasons, and so many different reasons. So I've been through a lot of different schools, and so I'm just used to traveling, going to new places and new experiences. And I've lived in a lot of different places for different reasons. Like when the lupus hit, I had to move. Because I didn't have any income. And then when I moved, there was a flood. Because the people, the landlords, they didn't do their due diligence. They just mask it and make it look new, but underneath that, it was mold and stuff.
Which is still going on. It's a mess.
So those situations I kept having to move. I lived in so many places, probably just as much as actually more places than I went to school.
Okay.
Right? I was constantly moving. I had the apartment fire. This was right before COVID.
Yeah, I remember that.
You
Yes,
know,
yes,
so
yes.
even when COVID hit, during COVID, I was in and out my car, from my car to people's couches, and then had a temporary apartment, and it was like loud and crazy. And then that's when I went to Senegal.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, things are closed
I'm
here.
gone. I'm going where my spirit is right.
And I'm going where it was fresh air.
Yeah.
And
fresh
not people
air.
dying all over the place and sirens, and they were doing the fireworks. It was just crazy. Like, it was just too much going on in the Bronx. It was a lot, because I was in the Bronx then.
In the
you know,
Bronx,
and
yes.
my grandmother she was in our house here in New Haven in hospice. It was just so much going on.
Yeah.
So when I left and went to Senegal to visit for that month to assess the arts and culture sectors, the peace that I felt.
You knew you were like,
yes, because it's such a peaceful country. They have what's called Terenga, which is welcome. They're the city of welcome. And I definitely felt welcomed. You know, I felt that. You know, the food is great. Oh my gosh. If you're a foodie, that's the place to be.
I was like explaining to people, I said, you know, my goal for 60 is Senegal. I said, because, you know, looking at the culture and knowing that peace is there, I want my daughter Love and my granddaughter Azari to learn some new things, be in a place of peace, meet new people, and then fly often. So I want them to be able to come back and forth. And you have inspired that, because every time I talk to you, I'm going, I just can't wait to take the babies, you know, I can't wait to take them both. Because there's just something about 24/7 peace. We can't get that here. There's always so much going on.
Yes.
Like you said, with the Bronx, you never know. You know, and unfortunately, we have so many different things going on in New Haven, people getting hit and shot. And I just want them to know that that is not everywhere.
It's not. And then over there's so many things that just don't exist that we normalize here. Like over there, I'm not a black woman. I don't have that fight, you know. Like I don't have that. I'm just Hanan. Like Hanan. If I don't say nothing, they think I'm one of them. And then like even before they get to the United States, they're going through all the English speaking African countries.
Yes.
Before they even, I have to tell them I'm from New York. They be like, what? They'll say Gambia first, Nigeria,
They'll think
Ghana.
you're from
They'll
everywhere,
go
but
everywhere.
But because there's so many English speaking.
You know?
I had somebody ask, "Oh, you're not gonna like it there," and I'm like, "Well, because have you ever been? No. Okay, well." You don't know.
That's what's beautiful. It's luxury. It's palm trees all over the place. I'm at the beach every day.
I had my palm tree sweatsuit on yesterday.
Like I love it. So I go back. So for myself, that's why I go, right? Because before I can introduce other people, I have to make sure it's something that is right and correct and survey the situation. So the other piece of this is I'm there helping the people, because I feel like too many people go to the continent. And, you know, we receive so much. You take, but what are you giving back?
Yes.
Besides some little trinkets, some used clothes, you know, giving somebody some money. What are you really empowering?
Are you really doing?
Right. How are you empowering
what seed
the
are
people
you planting?
for them to be able to excel and grow after you leave? You know, which is the same thing that I do here in New Haven.
Yes.
Because there's too many people that come to New Haven to stack their resumes and then leave. Or you start a program and gets a little tough and then you leave and then the people are no better off than when you came.
And you know, that's one of my big things. You can't start anything with a give up spirit. If you've already given up before you even started, why did you bother? And a lot of what both of us do is try to encourage people regardless of their situation. So a lot of people, even if it's something that we think maybe is not going to be successful, we're still going to give you the opportunity. We're not going to say, you can't do that. We'll never say you can't do that. We'll say, trying
First of all, that's not even a word in my vocabulary. Like when I teach, students do push-ups. The C word is a curse in my class. All my students listening right now, they probably like, yep.
What's your class like?
What's my class? I teach with a stick. I teach with a yardstick. I'm old school.
Oh, shoot.
I don't beat anybody.
No,
it's not like
but
that.
you
It's
just have it.
Yeah, I have it. And they know. Like it's possible,
well, listen,
but I'm not.
Listen, I've been around quite a few people, and they there's no problem with a broom. If I got to do what I got to do with a broomstick. I've seen them with their kids. I'm going, ooh, that's that old school.
No, but my class. No, I mean, jokes aside, my class. It's uplifting because it's a place for learning. And it's not as like when it comes to education, or rather artsication, right, it's not about the teacher as the disciplinarian, as the know-all, the fountain of information. I'm a facilitator of learning. I'm there to help. Like when they have a question, they have to ask everybody in the room first before they come to me.
You.
Because there's answers in the room. If I have a room with 30 kids, 5 kids, look how many brains you have.
Yes.
Right? You want from my one brain when you can talk to everybody there. So between all of you, you have the answer. If you have a little piece, somebody else might have another piece. Put it together. Put the puzzle pieces together.
Okay.
Choose one person as the liaison to come in and speak to me.
Hello, Board of Education. Are you listening?
So that's how I do. So everybody in my class, they're empowered. There's leadership roles. It's hands-on activities.
And you know they're learning because they're teaching each other.
Exactly.
You've done your part, and they're teaching each other, and you can move on easier.
Right.
Because you can go, okay, now we're going to add this part to it. So
exactly.
It's awesome.
And then they're also
amazing.
able to come in and say, oh, well, what about this? I did some research and I found this.
Yes.
Great. Let's do it. Or how can it fit in? Or there's something that problem solve. I'll say, okay, like with my premier dance company at Neighborhood Music School. When we have shows, because these are my students I'm training to become professional. So when we have performances, I walk in the door and I'll just walk in there, on everything, and I'll just stand there. I said, okay, tell me what to do next.
That's it.
I'm not moving from this spot
until you tell me
what to do.
There you go.
So they have to say, okay.
So teaching through instruction.
To do it, because first they have to say, okay, well, first you have to find out where's the changing areas, where are we dancing, who do you give the music to,
yes.
All of these things, right? That they go through the
and
whole
there might
process.
be somebody new that just walked in that doesn't realize who you are. So that's a really good opener for them.
Right.
And then they'll be like, wait a minute, that's the teacher?
Right. So they know everything. So this way, whether I'm there or not, you know what to do.
Yes.
I don't have to be there for you to be able to run the show.
Amazing.
You can run the show. And they're able to run the show. So by the time we get to the end of the school year, I'm sitting like this.
That's wonderful.
I get up if I want to.
You're accomplished. That's like with me. When a business succeeds, that's the best reward. Any nonprofit or anything, best reward. And to see your work working.
Right. Which ties into the sustainable programs. Like you said, when I'm not here, things still happen. That's my goal for New Haven. Like the Africa is Me, Juneteenth, New Haven Hip Hop Conference, like Miss Hanan's Dance Again. Everything that I'm doing here in New Haven is not for me. The elder honoring, I'm honoring elders who did not do anything in my life. My elders are in New York.
Yes.
Like I'm here honoring people who did stuff for everybody else here. And yes,
we
I
in New
benefit.
Haven don't.
I benefit because for me to be able to do what I'm doing in New Haven is because people put in the work. But on a personal level, I didn't sit at their feet growing up.
Yeah, definitely.
I sat at elders' feet, but not these specific elders.
Yes.
But I'm honoring them because it's important, because the people here have not honored them.
Yeah, it's a gift. It's gifted.
And you have to.
It takes
you have
a long time to get honored here. I noticed that.
And it shouldn't. That shouldn't be. And which is why we also started the Mantle Award, because we want to encourage those who are coming up to say, we see you. Keep on going.
Explain the Mantle Award. Some people might not know what that is.
So we have for Juneteenth, we have the Elder Honoring Ceremony.
Yes.
Where we honor unsung heroes, basically. Elders who have been doing the work, with not clout chasing.
No.
They might not be a part of the big organizations, but they're doing the necessary work.
Yeah.
That has been keeping New Haven afloat.
And it's amazing because that's the purpose of my show. Like, I'm like, people are out here doing work and people don't even know what their work is. And I was saying on my live video before here, like, we have to tell our stories because somebody needs to hear it and can learn from it and stop holding stuff in. So I really just think that that's a great thing, because I have been to the ceremony when we had it. What was it? Upper Green, I think it was, or Lower Green. And it's just beautiful. It's beautiful. And people weren't expecting it, that were getting it. I loved it.
Yeah, we make it a surprise.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, it's beautiful.
We tell all kind of stories to get them there. Oh,
I'm 51, so I'm just going to let you know. I'm 51, so, get ready.
You got time. I
got a little bit of time.
You got time. You're on the way.
I might be in Senegal by then, but...
But that's where the Mantle Award comes in for those who are not of age to be an elder, but you're doing that work in the community that we see that you're on the path to being an elder.
Yes.
Because it's a difference in being older and being an elder.
Mm-hmm.
Some people are just old. Some
They
people are
start
just
that way.
older.
Some people start that way, yeah.
But some people are actually doing that community work to be an elder.
Yeah.
Those are two totally different things.
Mm-hmm. And it's more than a mentor, I say. Being
Yes.
an elder is much more than a mentor because you're constantly thinking of others.
Yes.
You know, everybody's your children. Like, I always tell everybody I have 48 children pretty much. They might be, most of them
That's
grown out,
it?
but I have 48.
Only 48?
Well, 48 children that directly. But I'm sure all of the children
You
are
have
mine.
a lot.
All
yeah,
the
you've
children
been all
are
over the
mine.
place. All the stuff you've been doing. You all
All the children are mine.
I have thousands, okay? I
Yes,
have grandkids,
yes,
great-grands.
yes,
Because, I mean, I started teaching in the 90s,
Yes.
you
yes,
know,
yes, yes.
and so some of my kids, a lot of my kids have kids now.
Yeah, it's
you
amazing
know?
to see.
So,
Yeah, it's kind of like
yeah.
doing taxes for 33 years. I had like people that came as kids that now have families that now their kids come. It's amazing. But I'm going to take a moment to just let everybody know you're listening to MarceyLynn once again on 103.5 FM, WNHH, New Haven Independent Community Radio. 103.5 FM, WNHH-LP. Please, if you need to see us, you can see us on New Haven Independent's Facebook page. And later, if you don't have time to see us now, you can go on YouTube and search MarceyLynn, or go onto New Haven Independent's actual Facebook page and watch the show. Thank you again to Miss Hanan, Hameen, for coming to see my girl. I got to see her this year. I mean, but sometimes she comes and I don't get a chance to see her, but I got to see her twice, even though video last week, but I get to see her face to face today. So at least I feel gift, like I got my gift for Black History Month early. So I wanted to ask you too. So now, we talked about the Mantle Awards. Now, that's an award for the elders that we do during Juneteenth, correct? Is that
Mantle Awards are for the elders to be.
Yeah. Okay.
Right? You're not an elder yet,
but
but
elders
you're
to be. You're
on
working
the
to
road
it. Okay.
to becoming an
All right.
elder.
All right.
Yes.
I was just trying to make sure that part was clarified because I think maybe people are thinking you got to be old, you know.
Oh, no.
But we're not old.
No.
None of us ever get old. You know.
You get seasoned, honey.
Yes, we get seasoned and, you know, we get kinks
get
and everything
wise.
else. Yes. But that's such a blessing. So let's talk about the other things. We know we have the classes. You are Audubon Street, I say. You are Audubon Street. I want to talk about Juneteenth. I want people to understand. How many years have we been doing Juneteenth?
This will be our 10th year doing Juneteenth. Yay! Our 10th
year. It's amazing. Where are we doing it this year?
This year we're going to be back on the green on the upper green this time.
Oh, okay. All right.
So we're going to expand that whole side.
Beautiful.
We're going to have our own stage with all of the tents for the organizations, our Juneteenth marketplace. So any vendors who want to vend and sell your products, you can sign up with Arts and Ideas. I don't know if the application is released yet, but stay tuned so that way you can sell your goods as part of our Juneteenth marketplace, which is our Black Wall Street that we have been doing for a few years. There. And as far as organizations, if you want to participate and have a tent for your organization so you can let the community know that you're here and what you do,
please,
and have something interactive for the people to do at your tent. We don't just do people just sitting there and, you know, the papers are just there.
Yes.
No, we engage with the people. And for Juneteenth, right? It's different. Remember,
Definitely.
It's articulation. If you're going to be an articulation event, you're going to do more than what you're used to, but it's going to be fulfilling. You're going to grow. The people are going to grow. We all grow
together. You're going to get hugs. You're going to get moving.
Yes, you're going to
I
move.
definitely got to get moving soon because it's time for me to start dancing again. So I'm very excited about that. I'm able to. I had a little hurdle, but I need to for a minute with the baby because I got 10 months of sitting and taking care of her. Now she's getting active. I can go, okay, taking you somewhere for daycare so I can go dance, and she'll probably just be like, okay, I want to dance too.
Yep.
I can hear her now. I want to dance too. I mean, you saw the video with her flapping her arms.
Well, but you can bring it to Juneteenth because we're going to have classes also on the green.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, so we're going to have the different tents with different activities and it's also, and we're going to have some performances as well, of course.
Of course.
And our elder honoring, that's going to be on the Saturday. So that's the 17th on the green.
Okay.
On the
17th.
Sunday is the elder honoring. That's going to be on the main stage.
Okay, and that's the 18th?
That's the, that's the 18th.
Okay, so
yes.
Saturdays.
The 17th and the 19th, we're still programming, right?
Yeah.
So the locations I'm not going to say yet, but we also are going to be doing things with Stetson, Neighborhood Music School, and there's going to be a couple of other sites that we're adding because it's our 10th anniversary. So we want to make this a celebration. Everybody has fun
absolutely
for
a celebration.
For July 4th.
Is.
July 4th comes and everybody wants to have fun. Yeah. Juneteenth, we need to also have fun. We need to learn. We need to be articulate, but we also need to celebrate. This is our Independence Day.
Yes.
July 4th, 1776, we were still in bondage. So there's no celebration. We're going to celebrate for Juneteenth. We're going to learn for Juneteenth. And we're also combining it this year because it's the 50th anniversary of the birth of hip hop.
Yes.
So we're bringing back our New Haven Hip Hop Conference.
Yes.
So this is going to be our 6th installment of the New Haven Hip Hop Conference.
Hip-hop?
Yeah. So because our theme is Voices of Freedom for Juneteenth. So we're including hip hop as a voice of freedom. And me being from the South Bronx, where hip hop started.
Okay. Right there.
You know, which is why I didn't even really mention hip hop as far as my training because I am hip hop.
Yeah.
We didn't have hip hop classes. There was no such thing. We were the hip hop class. We were the ones outside making up those dances. We were the ones in the park
was Salt and Pepper
doing it,
and Run
right?
DMC.
There were no hip hop classes, and we didn't cap of each other. Like all of this TikTok, you do it, everybody do it. It's whack. I'm sorry. I don't care whose feelings are hurt.
Yes.
It's whack.
It's like, okay,
hip hop is not copying. Hip hop is being original. Hip hop is saying, okay, you do it this way, I'm gonna do it that way. Because my swag is different from yours. My style is different. My personality is
independent.
different.
Yeah.
Right?
Independent.
And there were names to these dances.
Yes.
Right? Things had meaning. There was purpose. It's not what they make. This is not hip hop. It's not hip hop. It's the bastard of day. It's I'm on the radio.
Noise.
Let me calm down.
It's noise.
It's not hip hop.
It's noise. I'm with you.
And that's why we're having the conference, and that's why we're bringing back the pioneers.
Yes.
I'm not going to say which ones yet until the paper signed, but we're bringing the pioneers.
Yes.
The people who actually did it, not people talking about what they read about, what somebody wrote about, what the people who did it said.
Yes.
Right?
It's so important for people to understand the history.
Yes.
The history is so important. And you can't some things you just can't Google.
Yes.
And that's why I said, everybody here, I want non-Googleable facts. I said, because sometimes you go to Google and yes, most of them are right, but sometimes they're just not right.
Right.
And there's things that really need to be part of your plan that you may say that somebody go, oh, wait, I didn't know that.
Right.
A lot of people don't read either.
Right. Like people think
they want it read to them.
Right. They want the audio book. No, we're going to hold it. You're going to smell the page. Okay. You're going to feel
turn the pages. Yes.
Like with hip hop, people think it's all about who's on the microphone. That's not with hip hop. With hip hop,
no.
It was about the dancer was in the front.
The
MCs used to go to get on whatever show the top dance crews had. They would go to get on that show.
Yep. And they really didn't have a lot of hype men. All hype men danced too.
Most of the MCs started. They were dancers. They were dancers.
I tell everybody. I said, look at J-Lo starting at Living Color dancing. You know, I try to explain people. You know,
she don't count.
But you know what? Just because she's from the block. Okay?
What block?
I don't even know what block. I don't.
She didn't even show the block in that video.
No. Anyway. I mean, you know.
That's like me saying, that's right.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to do something from the Bronx and I'm not going to show Evergreen and Story where I'm from.
At all.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I didn't understand that, but that's
anyway
the stardom thing.
Which is why we articulate, because it's about understanding who you are, understanding your role. Like my grandmother always told me and always said that our purpose in this life is to take our people and to take civilization to the next level.
Yes.
And that's another issue that I have with the younger people in the hip hop community, or just in general, because we're so quick to cancel out somebody who came before. You wouldn't be here without the people who came before. So how dare you even think that you have the authority to even try to cancel somebody who came before you? Because then what's going to happen? When you get to a certain age or you get to a certain point, then you're going to get canceled. That's why we don't have anything that's here 150 years, 200 years. How are you going to get that if you're always trying to cancel the thing out from before you or change the name?
And I'm amazed.
How are we going to have institutions?
Some
They
of
don't
these young
understand.
artists don't even know.
They're talking about generational wealth. How are you going to have generational wealth if you're trying to undermine and minimize the generation before you?
Yeah, the brothers and sisters that started.
That's why I can teach a neighborhood music school that's been around for over 100 years, because they changed executive directors. They continue the mission that was started from over 100 years ago.
Yeah, you have to change.
Everybody's
you
gonna
have
come
to change
in
with it.
Right.
You have to change
yes, you
for
grow
it.
exactly, and you grow with the times, but you don't erase those before you. And that's the problem that we have as a community, because we were taken away from our traditions, because we were taken away from our natural way of life, which is another reason why I'm doing the work that I'm doing to connect Senegal, not just Senegal, but I'm starting there because that's where I am. Because I also brought South Africa here. Remember, I brought Cuba here.
Yes, I remember Cuba.
I brought Cuba here twice. I brought South Africa here.
Yes.
And through virtually, I connected Guinea, Senegal, Mali, South Africa. I connected all of these countries virtually through the Juneteenth. It was on purpose to support our brothers and sisters on the continent. And to give something here. That exchange has to happen, and that's what we don't want. Yes. Because we can help each other. There's so much that we both have to offer each other. Yes. You know, because our humanity was stolen. Definitely. When I'm in Senegal and I see the men, you know what's manly in Senegal?
What's manly?
Taking care of your family.
Oof.
Being loyal to your wife. Holding her bag. Opening the doors. Making sure that she's
we call
good.
it chivalry, but that's the way it's supposed to be.
All this stuff that they say here, oh, you mad, soft, you do. That's what makes you a man over there. You're not even a man until you have a wife. They don't even see you as a man until you have that responsibility. Yes. That you're taking care of your wife and your family.
And you got a family out.
They're able to hug each other. They're able to tell each other they love them. They're able to just play and just, hey, they're able to just dance together. And it's nothing sexual. No. That's the problem here. Everything is sexualized. You get genuine compliments.
Yeah.
Oh, sister,
you look beautiful.
You are
oh my
beautiful.
God. Yes.
It's nothing
and
sexual
you think automatically
attached to it.
they think, they're trying to get to your pants. But
nobody's thinking that. Even for children, like I told you, you bring the kids. Yeah. It's the most children-friendly place. It's like back in the day when you can go, literally, you can go to anybody's house and eat. Yeah. I remember there was flooding when I was in college. There was flooding. And we had to walk through, like we couldn't park the car a certain place because it was just too much. So we had to, lift our pants up and walk through. We stopped at somebody's house, and no question, they gave us slippers. They let us wash our legs and feet off. They gave us everything we needed.
Yes. See, it's a whole
I went to somebody's
culture.
house, how to use the bathroom. Went to somebody's house. You go to somebody's house, if they're eating, they're going to invite you to come sit and eat.
Yes, culture. Yeah. They're just going to let...
We're human. We see each other,
I always explain to people that there's a whole different piece outside of here.
Yes, this is not the end all be all.
That you would think that we should have here.
It's not the end all be all.
And everybody here has been so burnt that they think that everybody that does nice things is up to something.
Right. And then here, when you don't speak English, people look down on you. They speaking 6 languages over there. Okay? My students, they speak 6 languages because first of all, there's 25 different ethnic groups, and then you have people from all over the world there, right? So then you have people in their houses. You gotta be able to communicate. I got people. I know people who speak their maybe 2 or 3 traditional languages on top of French, English, Portuguese, Spanish, Italian, Russition, German. They speak all of these languages.
That's amazing.
So, of course, when they come to and speak, like I catch myself, I was in the Spanish restaurant the other day after I left the doctor trying to order. I started speaking in Wolof. I'm like, wait. I'm like, forget it. Yeah. I just pointed. I just forget it.
I want that.
Get this or this. Forget it. Right? But when other people do that here, they're looked at as if they're not intelligent.
Speak English.
Right. When they
you can't speak English,
right? When we only speak one language, and we barely speak it correctly.
We won't talk about grammatical errors.
Listen, don't get me started on that. As an English teacher,
listen, I was going to say your English teacher said the wrong thing. So let's go back to the history with your dad's music and your mom's back.
Oh.
Your mom's teaching, because remember we had that
my
conversation.
mother. Yes. So about the teaching, right? So my mother is an educator, right? She was first pre-med at Howard. Oh, and let me clear that up because we
Yes.
were talking about Howard Hill House,
Howard,
right?
yeah.
She co-founded the majorettes at Hill House. At
Yeah.
Hill House.
Yeah.
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 She was a cheerleader at Howard.
Yeah.
But she co-founded the majorettes at Hill House.
I
She
can
was
imagine
there.
a cheerleader.
Yeah.
Oh, I can see her doing that. I can see my.
With the big afro, she had the big
Okay.
afro, like beautiful afro. But so my mother, when she converted to the Nation of Islam, she converted when she was 19.
Okay.
Right. So when she married my father, years later,
Yes.
and she was a filmmaker. She went to school for film.
Mm-hmm.
So my mother, again, like I said, she homeschooled us,
Yes.
right? But she went to school for film. I would go to school with her.
Okay.
Because the school I went to, again, was the City College Child Development Center.
Okay,
She
yeah.
went to City College.
Yeah. So
right?
that worked out.
Which was a major film program, which is why she was featured by the Smithsonian African American Museum.
Yes.
Right? Because her teacher
Mama.
there was is somebody who's very influential in film. Right? So my mother is under that legacy as one of the black pioneers, pioneering women in film.
Being taught.
Right?
Yep.
So I was literally in class with her.
That's
When
good.
she's editing and all this, I'm sitting right there. I'm doing everything. Right? I was doing the graphic arts. My parents had cable television shows. I would do the graphics
graphics for
and
the-
everything.
oh, wow.
Because I'm a computer person. Like
Yes.
I'm a science math person 1st. Chemistry class, that all
Those first,
all
yeah.
of this stuff. So, and this is all when I was young.
Yes.
So my mother, then
She's still
after
young.
she graduated, she became a teacher, and she actually started teaching where I used to go. And then she went into the Board of Ed and began teaching. So everywhere my mother was, when I got out of school, when I got out of dance,
Yes.
where am I? I'm at my mother's job.
Yeah, of course. Wherever she's
So
at. Mhm.
I'm doing the bulletin boards.
Yes.
I'm reading to the class. I'm helping with the lessons.
Yes.
And then when she was in school, because she has a double master's as well, I was always with her.
Yes.
So when she was in school,
You're-
I was in school.
You were getting your education.
And I was literally in the
through
classes, not just sitting
educating.
there.
Uh-huh.
You know how you see teachers, kids come to the class. No,
Yes.
I was engaged. Like I was answering questions.
yeah,
They were
this is my
listening-
class too.
Yeah, literally. They
yes.
were listening to me. I'm catching them on stuff they saying. So I say, wait a minute. Well, I also see this and this and this and this. And
That's
they're like,
great.
oh, yeah, you're right. they engage,
Like, yeah, that's wonderful.
Right. So
Yeah.
I was in school the whole time.
There's
and
a
I
big
was
difference than
teaching
now
the
and
whole
now.
time. And then in the dance programs that I was in, because I was always just so busy and then, and busy like in my mind,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Because of the high intellect.
Yes.
So my teachers saw this and they were able to help me apply my mathematical ability to dance. So that's why I
That's
excel
wonderful.
fast with dance, because I can analyze and deconstruct the movement quickly.
Yes.
And I can see how it's happening in space. I understood the physics of the movement
Yes.
to make it happen. I understood the timing.
It's like
and
all
the
of
rhythm.
you. Yep. Mhm.
Yeah, so
All of you.
everything came together in one space. I was
Yes.
able to do advanced choreography and in and out. Like it's just how my brain works. And with dance, I was able to put all of it together. So my teachers were also helping me to teach, because then I was the student teacher. Or I was
Yes.
helping this one here. Like, so it was, I was just always
learning
in that
while-
environment. And like I said, that's how articulation came, because how I was taught, there was just no separation, because everything was happening at the same time.
and you were able to just
Right, which is how I
Switch
was
over.
able to understand computers,
Yeah.
because I was I used to create computer programs for fun.
oh wow,
I would just be sitting there. I would just make programs,
That's
because we
beautiful.
always had computers in the house. My father is big on technology, so we always had like the first this, the first that, So we always had, but it was always computers,
yes.
right? So I remember I was going to. So
and
my
I could imagine IT wasn't enough for you.
No,
no.
because I went to school for computer science.
Yes,
The first
I'm sure,
when I
I'm
went to
sure.
City
The
College for
first
computer
one.
science, but the way they taught it, I was just like, no, thank you, and I dropped out of school, right? But and then I ended up running dance schools and going to the industry, and then after that is when I went again to certifications, and then I went back to school for dance, dual degree of dance and administration, and then that's when I, finished college
Yes.
and master's, and now finishing up my doctorate, everything based on arts and education,
Yes.
right? But I infused the technology
Yes.
within the arts. But my mother, she used to drive everywhere
Mm.
to get me to different programs. There was a
course.
program in Newark.
Mm.
It was the Chad the Chad Academy for Science and Math, I think. I might be saying the name a little wrong. This is way back, right? But this was a black-owned private school for STEM.
In New Jersey?
In New Jersey.
Oh.
In Newark.
Okay.
So they had a summer program. So my mother drove me there for the program.
Yeah.
So I would go. She would drive from the Bronx to Newark, New Jersey every single day.
Every day.
To get me there to this program.
Every day.
And we were making robots.
Amazing.
We made our own radio station.
Amazing.
We had sound activated robots. I got an award for my computer program. It wasn't part of the thing.
Yeah.
I made a mailing list program where whatever information you typed in is going to give you what you didn't put in. If you put in a number, it's going to give you the name and the address.
Oh, wow.
Put in the address, it's going to give you the name and the number. Like I was 14.
And think about it. Now it's generated automatically now.
Right.
So you were already doing that.
Right.
At 14.
But then when I went to college to pursue this, right, they
just
killed
didn't
it.
teach it.
They
right.
killed it.
They didn't teach you right to improve on it.
But another piece that was missing though was I didn't want to go to school for STEM. That was my hobby.
Yeah.
So people thought, everybody thought that the arts was the hobby.
Yes.
And because everybody's looking at the money you get in technology, they were pushing me that way. I was supposed to either be a chemist or engineer or a doctor, because all of my schools that I went to, all those specialized schools, were all for being a doctor. I was in the Macy Medical Program. I went to East Harlem Biomedical School. I went to Isaac Newton. I was the talented
But
and
that's
gifted
not
school.
the only thing you can use your brain for. People don't understand that.
Right.
Like what you do, you're brilliant. And I always tell you that. So what you do is you take your brilliance and you share it with community.
Yes.
As opposed to being, stethoscope.
And I like to show people how they're brilliant. Like it's not about how smart you are, it's how you are smart, right? Which is why I really take to the multiple intelligence. I really take to that because it's true. Because I've seen it. I have some students, right? When I was teaching in Brooklyn, I had some students who people totally wrote off.
Oh, and then they turned around.
But these kids now, dude, I had one student who she couldn't be touched. I was able to. She would let me touch her.
Yeah.
She would let me hug her.
Like,
nobody else could touch her.
Yeah.
She was going through some serious challenges.
Yes.
This young lady, she starred in Hairspray when we did it.
Oh wow.
People were like,
wait, she could do that?
She was up there singing and dancing and doing all the lines.
Yes.
And they were just like, I'm like, yeah, you just have to tap in.
Like, I say we smart people.
Yes.
Are eccentric in different ways.
Yes.
And some of us don't like. There's something that, might be off to people. But it's usually that we don't want to intimidate anyone or make anyone feel inferior by who we are. And it's hard to overcome that. But I wanted to take the last couple of minutes and make one more announcement. You're listening to 103.5 FM, WNHHLP, New Haven Independent Community Radio. You can listen to us live on newhavenindependent.org or go right on to 103.5. You could also see us on New Haven Independent's Facebook page. And then later on, if you missed this, you can just Google, or not Google, but YouTube search MarceyLynn, MarceyLynn. And I want to take this last couple of minutes to talk about your dad's music.
Okay.
Tell me more about, like, being the child of a musician, and then your mom. I know your mom was every step of the way, but I know you did a lot of traveling and things, right?
Right. So yes, he was always on the road. I gotta go here. Always on the road. Oh my God, there were always people in the house. I come home. I would come home to a whole band in the living room. All these jazz greats in the living room.
Oh my gosh.
Recording, and I'm like, I'm trying to do my homework. Like, can you turn that bass down or something? Like
get some
like
earplugs,
literally
girl.
the upright bass,
girl.
and then the guitar.
Okay.
And I'm talking about like big names. You know, like I'm taking messages on the phone.
Yeah, but last time I saw him,
it's Max Roach calling.
Like,
It's George Benson calling. Is like these are my father's friends.
Yes.
Like this was normal.
These
to
are your
me.
uncles, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like this was normal to me. Irene Reed's in the house, like every Leon Thomas and their kids, right? Their children. That's who my friends were.
Yeah. of course.
So you know how your friends are
Yes.
basically whoever
Yeah,
your parents,
whoever your
you know.
parents take.
Right. So these are I
Yes.
grew up. These are my friends.
Yeah.
You know. So growing up
Great
in that,
connection. Yeah.
right. So it was just being around music. It was always jam session time.
Always
right?
jam session time.
Right. And then gig time. So I know how to put the trap set together, take it apart, pack it up.
Listen,
you
let
know.
me
and when
set y'all up. Y'all go ahead and just get ready.
but what my father did do was the trips and the venues that were children friendly or family friendly, he would always take us.
That's wonderful.
Right. And if we weren't even able to stay in, like there are places we would go, I would help him set up. We'd help him set up, and then we leave before it starts.
Yeah.
Because he didn't want to see us to see people drinking alcohol and different things like that. But if there were, especially when we would travel, we went to Canada, different places, Buffalo, Rochester, Syracuse, because my father was part of Jazzmobile. So I don't know if people know about Jazzmobile, but it was a mobile jazz concert.
Yes.
Where they would set up the stage in different places, and then every Wednesday they had Grant's Tune, but they also had classes set up, right? So my father would be teaching classes there, right? So, but Jazzmobile had all of the greats. Everybody would be performing, so we would always be there. But any event, he would make it a family trip. So we all get in the car, because we always had big cars, whether it was a van or we had a long, big Cadillac. We're
Gotta put all
up
the
and
equipment
down.
in there too. So
right,
yeah.
right. So we go up and down the East Coast everywhere. If we can drive there, we went, and we made it a family trip.
That's
With the
awesome.
music.
That's amazing. Amazing. Is there anything else you'd like everybody to know? You have what? 3 minutes now. Harry's giving me the fingers.
You know what? Okay. You know what? I want
4
everybody to
minutes.
take
4
away
minutes.
is that everybody talks about this school to prison pipeline,
Mm-hmm.
but there's also another pipeline.
Mm-hmm.
There's another pipeline to stay out of prison, and then there's also some things that no matter what, some things are just set up for us to. Because I've been arrested before. You know what I mean? Like it's just because of the color of your skin, certain things are just going to happen, unfortunately, right? But for your children, like I shared, my parents specifically put me in different programs and put me in different opportunities. And if they saw there was a place that was not for me, they removed me immediately.
Yes.
And if they
Everything
heard
is
me,
not for everybody.
and if they heard me say this and this is going on, they listened to me and they checked it out, and they put me in the path and connected me with people and made sure that I had teachers who were able to teach me correctly. They wanted to trust. They knew what the village was.
Yes, definitely.
And my mother, like I have my dance moms that I call mom,
Of course.
and she don't feel no type of way because she knows she's my
Let's
nothing's gonna
dance
take
mom.
away.
Yeah, that's
but
what-
she also knows that these are people that if there's a question that she's not able to answer, if there's something that she did not experience, she knows that I can go to them and they're going to direct me in the
She's gonna
correct
send
way.
you to the right
She knows
person.
she knows she can trust what they're going to say. 'Cause you have
Yes.
some people where there's no trusting what they're going to tell
Yeah, we
your
need to-
children, and not even just children, even as adults.
It would be
right?
so different.
it's very important that people understand that, and that you also understand that there are different ways of learning. There are different ways of being. There are other approaches. And just because you are born in a certain place, just because you live in a certain place, doesn't mean that you are bound to that place.
Yeah.
You can do things to help where you are, but you don't have to
Yes.
stay there.
Yes.
You can go and experience and learn other
So
things.
the pipeline that we need to work on getting that village back.
Yes.
I really know for a fact that that's what my heart is telling me, that this can be. And people are like, oh, well, why are you? Well, I'm doing it because we need to connect each other.
Mm-hmm.
We need to hear about the people that we may have looked at and decided we didn't like because of the way their demeanor. We need to know why they're like that.
Exactly.
So that is my purpose with MarceyLynn.
And I'm glad you have this platform, and thanks for having me on here, because everybody has a story.
And I think Harry.
Everybody
Jose.
has a gift. It's just a matter of finding a way to tap into that gift. Because some people have gifts they don't know. I have students now who are audio engineers and musicians and doctors and
Amazing.
nurses, but they didn't know they had it. They didn't even know that was possible. But because they took my
They were
dance class or my
encouraged.
drum class, I was able to show them,
Yes.
like, okay, you're dancing,
Yeah.
but nobody's going to see you.
Yes.
I don't care how many times you can spin on your head.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to see you if nobody's there to turn the light on.
There you
if
go.
nobody's there to open the curtain.
Amen.
If nobody's there to get to usher
Okay.
people to the seat, to
Yeah.
sell the ticket, to build the theater,
mean,
there's
all
so
of
many
it.
different careers.
Yeah.
Right?
But
Like I
thank
tell
you
them-
so much.
Right.
Hanan.
Thank you. I know we could go on and on.
Yes, yes. Thank you. Have a wonderful day. See you
Thank
next
you.
Thursday.
hallelujah, 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 hallelujah.